North Carolina might be starting a young, mobile quarterback. Does the fact that you practice against those kind of guys, do you think that helps you in a way?
Yeah, I think that helps a lot, especially seeing Brandon and Ian. Those are guys that can move really well. And for us, it's just we've seen that a lot throughout playing our offense, and we'll be comfortable with playing a quarterback like that. Yeah.
Greer, off topic, but now that you're in your remaining days as a Notre Dame football player, can you reflect on your recruiting process here and what some of the more memorable moments of that were like?
Yeah, so I think some of the memorable moments of my recruiting was I was up here when Notre Dame beat Stanford on the goal line. It was that rainy game. It was super cold, and we all got to go on the field afterwards. That was a memorable moment for sure. I think that one of the most memorable moments in my recruiting process was they got us all in this room, and they put up like this history of Notre Dame football. It was really neat, and it was pretty awesome for me to see like what I was getting myself into just from like a historic perspective.
At that point, you were uncommitted?
I think actually I was committed at that point, okay. Yeah.
And as you look back on it, what were the determining factors to ultimately choose Notre Dame? So
I committed pretty early, and it was just kind of like this feeling I had when I was here, as well as I wanted the best combination of like a business school and football, and Notre Dame just fit that mold perfectly.
Right. Did anyone influence you to lean in this direction, or? Well,
I had two of my high school teammates, right. CJ and Doug, were both here, and so that was a great influence. When I came up, I was really comfortable. They always put me with them. I always knew someone on the team, so that was definitely an influence.
In your top five, or your top schools remaining when you chose Notre Dame?
Oh man, that's tough. Obviously, Notre Dame was one. Yeah. And then I had some local schools. I liked UVA a lot. Michigan, Stanford were some of the schools that were up there. But once I got the Notre Dame offer, yeah. I kind of committed right away.
So there was no like clear-cut number two?
No, like I didn't take any other visits other than Notre Dame. Like this was my school.
Right. Thank you.
Greer, right up the middle here. I'm curious, at this point in the season, how satisfied would you guys say you are with the way you're playing to this point?
I mean, I think we're satisfied, but we're always we always want to get better. We know that each week with the rest of our schedule, we have to continue to keep getting better because we got a tough schedule coming ahead of us.
What do you think you guys have done best so far on defense?
I think it is like every week I feel like we've gotten a little bit better and gotten a little bit more comfortable with the scheme and just playing fast. I think each week we've gotten just more comfortable with it, which I think is the biggest thing.
You guys have done well keeping points down, causing turnovers. What's probably the biggest area of growth still remaining, do you think, for you guys?
It's just executing for 4 quarters, so not taking any series off, just been locked in throughout the entire duration of the game. There can't be one series where we kind of have a couple sloppy plays. We just need to be more consistent throughout the entire game.
Hey, Greer, BK referenced a personality test you guys took, I think, spring practice time. Could you sort of describe what you got out of that, format of the tests, what the questions were like, what you learned at the end?
Yeah, so it was just, I think it's like just the generic personality test that most people take. And I think what we got out of it was we saw the ways that we related to people. And for me, it was like about like relationships. And like I think my second one was like love or something like that. And so like my thing is that I can be close to teammates with intimate relationships when someone else could have seen something different, but that's just what I got out of it.
And was that a surprise? Were the results a surprise to you, or like, I kind of figured I was that way?
Well, they give you like your top 5 things, and I mean, I was a little bit surprised with some of them, but it made sense when I sat down and kind of thought about it.
And how did it sort of impact you as a captain, or how you related to your teammates moving forward, just sort of having that information?
Yeah, I think that you can see what you're good at, what you're not good at. And so, like, I wouldn't use a tactic that I wouldn't be good at just based off that personality test. So it kind of narrows it down to the way that you should lead.
And could you, I guess, give me an example of a question that was on the test that you remember?
Actually, there's like 40 different questions, and they're kind of all similar, so I can't really tell you exactly one specific one. But, I mean, it was kind of like, do you do you get more pleasure from hanging out with a good buddy or sitting in a room reading a book, like something like that. So like it deciphers between whether you're a people's person or if you like to be kind of recluse or whatever. Yeah.
And so what did the test reveal that you weren't good at? Like what was the last of your traits?
Think back. This was a long time ago. I would say probably more along the lines that, like, for me, I wasn't so good about being in a room and being like that demanding guy. So like being the loudest, most vocal guy. It was more of so like the relationship aspect of it and like kind of one-on-one stuff rather than in a big group setting.
And so have you never done that before? Like stood up in front of a room?
Well, no, it's more so just like that's not what I'm strong at. Like obviously there's times it presents itself, but that's just something I had to work on. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Just to follow up to that then, so you're not a guy that's going to be knocking over chairs and screaming at your teammates pregame?
No, that's not me, no.
Who would be that guy?
I think probably Quentin Nelson, Niles Morgan. Those are probably the two guys I think of right off the top of my mind. Yeah.
Greer, Kelly was telling us the other day about how he reorganized the locker room in the offseason away from position groups. And do you think that that's helped camaraderie a little bit?
Yeah, I think so for sure. So you used to sit with your position group only, and so now it's all different types of guys. Beside me, like Avery Davis is beside me right now. So it's just someone that I wouldn't have had a relationship with or even seen on a daily basis, just being seen only linebackers, and we do so much stuff together that I think that like kind of brings us closer because you know more of a variety of guys better on a better, yeah.
Now, do your lockers change periodically? Like,
so it's changed twice so far. So in the spring we had a certain locker group, and then now it's different during the fall. So I've had two different rotations, and I feel like during the spring it will change again, and then again in the summer. So I think that's just what Coach Kelly's doing, and I think it's been effective.
and you think that that just overall has boosted team morale heading into the season, and just you can kind of tell a difference maybe?
Yeah, I feel like we're more united as a team, and like everyone's saying, like the offense, defense feeds off of each other. I think that's a big part of it as well.